This is the first lesson for the statistics topic within National 5. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is how to calculate the quartiles of a data set. Okay, our learning intention is going to be examining the quartiles of the data sets, and our success criteria at the end of it, you should be able to calculate the quartiles of any data set and also write the 5-figure summary of any data set. So first off, just going to have a wee recap of the statistics that you should already be able to work out, things you've done before. So these are finding the mean, the median, mode and range of any data set. So we're going to do it for the following. Okay, so to find the mean, what you should be doing is adding all the numbers together and then dividing by how many numbers there are altogether. To find the median, that is the middle number. So first off, we need to put it into order and then find out what the middle value of the data would be. The mode is the number that appears the most, and the range is the difference between the biggest and the smallest number. So the biggest take away the smallest will give us the range. So actually, to do this for the data set that we've got in front of us, what we're going to have to do is add all these numbers together to find the mean. So that is 10 plus 6 plus 9 plus 4 plus 12 plus 9 plus 5 plus 9 plus 2 plus 13. Okay, and what we need to do is divide by how many numbers there are. So there's 10 numbers altogether, so we're going to end up dividing by 10. So if we do add all of them together, that should give us, or it does give us 79. So it should be 79 divided by 10, which will give us 7.9. So that will be our mean value. Our median is the middle value. So first off, we're going to have to put them into order. A good thing to do here is just tick off what you've done so far. So if I've got 2 as the smallest, okay, I can tick that off. And then I've got 4, tick that off. And then I've got 5, 6. After 6 comes 9. And we've got 3 9s altogether. So we'll put them in, tick them off. And then we've got 10, 12, and then 13. So just take them off. Right, so what we're going to be getting for the median is the middle value. So we can work our way in, usually helps us. So if I cross off the first one and the last one, and keep doing so until we make our way into the middle. Okay, so our middle is actually going to be in here. Okay, and when we have something that's the median is in between 2 values, we need to find the difference of them 2 values. So the middle of them 2 values. In this case, it's 9 and 9. So in the middle of 9 and 9, they're the same. So our median is just going to be 9. Our mode is the number that comes up most often, and that is 9 in this case. So our mode is going to be 9. On our range is our biggest value, take away our smallest value. So it's 13 take away 2, which gives me 11. So our range is 11. Okay, so there should be things that you're already familiar with. So what we're going to start looking at is the spread of values. So below are the ages of a group on a school trip, and it tells us the ages of all the people who are on the school trip. So we want to look at the spread of these using the range. But if we use the range, this is going to be 25 take away 2, and that gives us 23. So that's saying that the spread between these this data set, or the ages, is going to be 23. So most of the children, if we look at them, are aged 6 to 13. The school teacher is the one who is 25, and she brings her 2-year-old son with her. So it's actually her 2-year-old son that is 2. So they don't really give us a representation of the people who are actually the school pupils who are actually part of that group. So the range of 23 gives a false impression of how widely spread the actual ages are. It only concentrates on 2 ages, and it just completely ignores the rest. So in this case, it uses the teacher's age and her son's age and completely ignores the pupils' ages. Okay, so it's not the best thing to use. So we're going to look at another measure of spread that is a wee bit more accurate. This is called the semi-interquartile range. Okay, so this takes into account more of the numbers in the data set. So you already know that the mean is the middle number that splits a distribution or a data set of numbers into two equal parts. Because if you're finding the middle number, you're going to have the half that's before the middle number and the half that's after the middle number. When it comes to quartiles, which you'll probably recognize from the word, if you pick out the fact that it kind of sounds like quarters, what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to get the three values that split the distribution of the ordered numbers into 4 equal parts, okay, because it's quarters. There must be an equal number of values in each of the 4 sections. Okay, so just like you would do with the median, and you have the same amount of numbers either side of the median. So we have 15 numbers here, okay, and the median must be the 8th number. We know that because there's 15, okay, and if we work our way inwards, okay, we should have 7 on either side, and then we'll have the number in the middle. Okay, so if I even just start crossing these off, okay, and then our median would end up being 7. So if we count along and see which number that is, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th number. So our median would be the 7, because then that gives us 7 numbers either side of it. The lower quartile splits the bottom half into 2 equal parts. So now we're going to look at the bottom half of that group of data. So I'm just going to rub out the ones that we've got. Sorry, we're just going a bit off there. This isn't working for me. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get that back to pen. Right, so what we're going to be looking at is the bottom half. So to look at our bottom half, if we were to find the middle value of just that bottom half of data, so the 2, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, and 7. Okay, there's a total of 7 numbers there, and our middle value would be the 4th number. So that's our lower quartile, or our quartile 1. Okay, we do the same with the top half to get quartile 3. Okay, so our 8, 8, the 2 10s, the 11, the 13, and 25. And then essentially what we're doing is we're going to find the middle value of that set, that half of the data. Okay, and that gives us our upper quartile, or our 3rd quartile, quartile 3. So an example here, if I work through it, okay, we've got find the quartiles of the following data sets. So we've got 1, 3, 4, 2 5s, 7, 2 8s, 10, 14, 16, 19, 2 22s, and 25. So first thing that I need to do is find the median. That's always going to be the first thing to do. So our median, if we cross off, so our median here is going to be 8. Okay, so we can put a circle around that, and I'll just rub out the rest. This works for me this time. Yep, there we go. Okay, and I'll just get rid of that. And that is the 8, is going to be the median. So now I'm going to look at the lower half of the set of data, so just that 1 to that first 8. And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so I need to find basically the middle value of that. So if I've got the 1 and the 8, the 3 and the 7, the 4 and the 5, our middle value for that little bit is going to be the 5. So that gives us our Q1, or quartile 1. If we do the same for the top bit, the second half, we've got the 10, the 25, 14, 22, 16, and 22. So our quartile 3 is going to be 19. So that gives us our quartile. So our quartile 1 is equal to 5. Quartile 2, which is the median, gives us 8. And quartile 3 gives us 19. And that's our quartiles for that data set. Example 2, it's going to be doing the same thing. First off, I need to find the median. So I'm just going to use the dots instead of scoring them off, so it saves me rubbing things out. And then our middle is going to be in here. So just like I mentioned before, and if we're finding the median and it's between the two numbers, then we just find the middle value between them two numbers. So in between 35 and 36 would be 35.5. And that's our median, which is also our second quartile, if you think 2/4 is a half. So then I need to do the same for the first half of data. Okay, I'm going to find the middle value. So our middle value in this is going to be 28. Okay, so that gives us our quartile 1. And then we need to do the same for the second half. So again, I'll just use my dots. And then the middle part of that is going to give me 41 for quartile 3. So our quartiles, in this case, quartile 1, just making sure we're answering the question properly, we need to state it. Quartile 1 is 28, quartile 2 is 35.5, and quartile 3 is 41. Okay, and so we found the quartiles of that data set. Moving on, we might be asked to find the 5-figure summary of the following data set. And it's basically doing the same thing, but 5-figure summary also includes the lowest number and the highest number. Okay, so again, the data is in order, so that helps us. If it's not in order, we need to put it in order. So working my way into the middle. That's going to give me 26. So median, or quartile 2 is going to be 26. Again, doing the same for the bottom half of the data now, doing the same thing. Our middle value is going to be in between the 17 and 18. So in between 17, halfway between it, is 17.5. So quartile 1 is 17.5. We do again the same for the second half of the data. So we'll have our 30, 40, 30, 37, and it is in between here. In between 35 and 36, halfway there, would give me 35.5. So to state our 5-figure summary, we need to say what the lowest value is. Okay, so our lowest value is 13. We then need to say what our quartile 1 is, which is 17.5. Quartile 2, or the median, is going to give us 26. That's also the median. And quartile 3 is 35.5. And then we need to also put in our highest value, which in this case is 40. And that's just written out our 5-figure summary. So I'll do one more for example 4 here. Again, they're in order. If they're not in order, you need to put them in order. So the fact that they're in order just helps us a little bit. So we've got working our way into the middle. It's going to be in between 90 and 102. So there's 12 between 90 and 102, and half of that is 6. So halfway between them two values is going to be 96. We then again do the same to the bottom half of the data to get our quartile. Okay, and that's going to be in between 88 and 90. Okay, and that's going to give us 89. And then for the second half of the data, it's going to be in here, and halfway between 103, because they're both the same, they're both 103, it's just 103. Okay, so that gets us our median and our quartiles. So now we just need to write out our 5-figure summary. So the lowest is going to give us 80. Quartile 1 is 89. Quartile 2, or the median, gives us 96. Quartile 3 is 103. And our highest value is 106. Okay, and that's us written out our 5-figure summary for that data set. So, questions for you guys to try. Okay, you can give these a go. You can pause the video and try them. Something to write down first, a good note for the 5-figure summary is just to write this down so you actually know what the 5-figure summary is. It's your lowest value, quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, and the highest value, just as mentioned before. Okay, so just make sure you copy that down for your notes, and then you can give these questions a wee go. As I said, just pause the video and then come back for the answers. Okay, so hopefully you've now given them a go. Okay, so I'm just going to move on and show the answers that you should have got. Okay, they're coming up on the screen now. So double check, mark what you've done. If you've made any mistakes, try and look back and find where your mistakes are and try and fix them. Make sure you understand how you get each of them answers. Okay, so that covers everything for quartiles. Okay, and next thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the semi-interquartile range, where we actually use the quartiles in this.